Has come to the mall. This is big for me. I just wanted to perform across the hall from Forever 21. Bucket list, check. Small as a pedophile's dream. Forever 21, the Carousel Cafe. Where you won't see the kids. We know where to go. Landed yesterday around 6 o'clock, and then I went to my hotel and started watching the news. I'll tell you this, Hartford's definitely a city the first 48 is sleeping on. I mean, I saw 2 episodes yesterday in 20 minutes. What they doing in Tulsa? They bring your to Hartford. Connecticut ain't just Yale. Got huskies and killers out here. I don't know who keeps yelling the wrong name out, but I guess there's a special needs bus out front also. I missed that. They must be on riding the carousel. He wandered up. I'm gonna go to a comedy show. I can't get off the horse. This is a wild horse. I told you, don't go on the horse. It goes too fast. Thanks for laughing at that. We are in the cancel culture era. All I needed was one motherfucker with a special needs nephew. Hey, motherfucker! Stop talking about Terry! You know who the Terry is. He's right upstairs on the carousel. He's the chaperone. He graduated. It's funny as the guy literally is looking around going, who are you talking about? They talking about me. They talking about me. You yelled out Tommy. I'm not talking about Tommy. He's back. Yeah.
Old white men like titties.
Old white men like titties. Do you work at a nursing home?
I do.
I figured that shit. I knew that shit. That came from the heart. Old white man like titties. You shut the up, Harold. Just go ahead, suck it real quick. I sure do appreciate you. Come on. Get a good suck in. You making sure you in the will. I left everything to Miss Cheryl. Who are you? I let him suck my titty 2 times. He put me in the wheel, so. That's the first time anybody's heckled that part of my show. Usually like nursing home jokes, just let it ride. Mom, what the f***? I heard you let old people suck on your titties. How the hell you think you went to college? That was a titty scholarship. You sucked on my titty, didn't you? I was 6 months. Well, he was 6 months from dying. All right, I got one rule. Over 90, under 6 months. She reminded me of Oprah in The Color Purple. Like she was the same. I go, nursing home. Oh, Sophia, home now. She woke all the way the f*** up. You gonna let him talk to you like that? I'll let that motherfucker suck my titty. He puts me in the wheel, it's gonna shut him up. God damn it, pass me some ham. And I only nutted her once. I knew exactly the day I got her pregnant because when she called me and said I'm pregnant, I fucking knew it. Yeah. He got a gang, right? He got a gang of baby. Down with B, dog. There's a lot going on at that table, man. You got somebody special needs, an old lady letting old men suck on her titties. Got a motherfucker with 13 kids, 12 baby mamas over there.
I don't like talking about consistency.
Wasn't talking to you. You're the titty sucking old man lady. She always assumes it's about her. Those two, you guys are together? I know you all are together, the ones yelling out. Tommy! Oh, white man like to suck titties. This is going to be good tonight when you guys are fucking in the bedroom. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Why didn't you two say anything? Why didn't you take somebody else? That's his sister. Like, neither of them been talking the whole goddamn show. The one time you should yell something out, you quiet as The whole table kept looking back. You ain't gonna say nothing, Charles?
I was being told to be quiet at the same time.
Oh, you was told to be quiet?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You ain't used to that. I know you ain't used to that. You was struggling. What? It's gonna be a rough day at Whispering Meadows Monday. She had to be quiet tonight. Everybody getting a you. You and you your shit. Sit in your shit. Why are you acting like that? She had to be quiet Saturday night. Now all you old motherfuckers gonna be quiet. Look, appreciate you guys coming out to the mall, hanging with us. Me and Adam had a great time with you guys the last couple hours. I'll see you next time. I'm Gary Owen. Thank you guys. Good night. Thanks.
They not like us. 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 They not like us.
What's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen. Get some.
I was talking about the good things and bad things about being in a interracial family, I guess, you know. One good thing, though, I sometimes use it to my advantage. Having black guys in my family, man. Like, I remember my kid's cousin came to visit LA. Never been to LA before, right? And her cousins came. So it was 3 teenage boys and me. And I've been sightseeing with them when driving around LA. We was driving. And then I cut these 2 white dudes off in traffic. It was my fault. I didn't put my turn signal on. And I looked back and tried to wave. I was like, my bad. And I looked back and the white dudes were cussing me out. Fuck that, man. Fuck you. I was like, dude, my bad, you know? But the white guys wouldn't let it go. They kept riding my bumper. They kept trying to get up next to me. Like, they had to cuss me out because I cut them off. I just realized, right when I got to the driver's side door, I realized, I said, man, these 2 white dudes think about myself. They didn't realize I had 3 black guys in the car with me because all the black guys' chairs were leaned back all the way. Man, you should have seen how the whole situation turned in my favor when those white guys got up right next to the car and all the black guys popped up their chairs to see what was going on. They was like, hey, motherfucker. Damn, it happens, yeah. We were probably speeding, yeah, so. You want to get some gas at the next exit? I got my dad's gas card. Get gas, get some Vita Water. 50-cent drinks Vita Water. It's really good. Get it with Fritos. It's really good with Fritos. So, okay, no problem. Our fault. So, I just remember when they, I remember that black in the car. I said, why'd you pull your chair up? How'd you know what was going on? They said they thought they heard the white guys say the N-word. And they asked me, they go, Gary, what do you say? I was like, I'm not going to say it. So, yeah, I'm not. Whatever you thought he said, he probably says. So, yeah, I'm not going to repeat it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. You can listen to this on iTunes. Just search Gary Owen /Get Some, or search United We Cast, or my YouTube page, youtube.com/Gary Owen Com. Before I get started, 2 comedians. One's name is Siddiqui Fuller, and the other one is Spanky Brown. Both passed away unexpectedly the same day. Spanky, I was probably a little closer with him probably 15 years ago. Every time I would go to like Macon, Augusta, Savannah, that area, he'd always open up for me at the comedy clubs. And he was a heavyset guy, but he had a really pretty wife, nice wife. And one thing I remember about Spanky was we had a show, and then after the show, we all went back to his apartment, and me and the other comics that was on the show, and we watched the Mike Tyson-Lou Savarese fight. And why I remember that fight so vividly is the week before, if you don't remember, Mike Tyson knocked Lou Savarese out in 1 round. It was fast, and it was like in Scotland or Sweden. It was some place in Europe. And what I remember about the fight is we got to Spank's house and we had like chips and ordered a pizza. We was ready to watch the fight, and it was over with in like 30 seconds. And we were just sitting there like, really? And then, so that was in Savannah, Georgia when the fight happened. Now I was in Phoenix, Arizona the week before that. And Tyson was in Phoenix. And I remember seeing Tyson out at a nightclub. This is like Saturday. And I think he left Sunday to go to Scotland or wherever the fight was. And people were making a big deal about him traveling over to Europe and the time change and everything else. Your body has to get adapted to it. And the Lou Savarese guy that was fighting Tyson, he had been over there for like a month training, getting used to the culture, the time change. And Mike went over there the week, like 5 days before the fight and still knocked him out in the first round. And it's funny because Mike was out, like hanging out that Saturday. I didn't see him drinking, but just hanging out, just like it's Saturday night in Phoenix. And I was like, it was crazy because then the next day he left. And I remember watching ESPN and they made a big deal about Mike Tyson getting there so late when the fight was Friday or Saturday and he didn't get in town till Sunday. And so much for that, you know. That's the one. I remember when Tyson was getting ready to fight Lennox Lewis. I remember Lennox just kept talking about Lou Savarese. He kept telling Mike, "I ain't Lou Savarese." But that's probably one of the most vivid memories I have of Spanky. And like I said, it wasn't a big deal. It was just some guys hanging out. But he opened his home to me and the other comics and let us come over and watch the fight. And I can't remember if it was pay-per-view or HBO. But it's just a good dude. And what's strange is a couple weeks ago I had talked about I've let my feature go. I got looking for a new opening act basically on the road. And when I was talking to the manager in Columbia, South Carolina, I said, yeah, man, I might be looking for a new feature. I didn't get in details because what about Spanky Brown? He brings up Spanky. Spanky shoots me a text that week and was like, hey, Gary, I heard you're looking for a new feature. You know, I'm here for you if you need me. And I text him back just saying, all right, man, I'm just trying to get my life together, but more like I was like, just give me a couple months to get this new road crew I got, and then I'll get back to you. And then he passed away. That's just so weird that his name came up and he shoots me a text and then he passes away. That's just, you never know. And the other person that passed away was Siddiqui Fuller. Now, Siddiqui's a Bay Area comic, San Francisco, Oakland area. I met him probably 2005 or 6 at the San Francisco Punchline. And I remember he closed the show by doing a backflip on stage, just standing there, straight backflip, bloop. And I literally looked and I go, this motherfucker just do a backflip? Like I'm getting ready to walk on the stage. He does a full backflip. And if you've never been to San Francisco Punchline, it's very low ceilings. I mean, the ceilings are probably 8-9 feet. So it's low. So for him to do a backflip, the way he did it, because he did it like, he's already Siddiqui was over 6 foot tall, easy. And he did the backflip where he never jumped up to do it. It was like stand in place, back up. He's right back to where he was. Like he never went higher than his height. Come to find out, he was the Golden State Warriors mascot for 7 years. From 97 to 2002, he was the guy doing all the jumping. It's got like the Golden State Warriors, their mascot's like Flash Gordon with a mask. And that was Siddiqui. And I think both those guys, they're not household names and they didn't get to where they wanted to be as a stand-up. I don't know if anybody ever does. I bet even Kevin Hart would say I'm still not satisfied. But as far as like headlining and all the other stuff, they weren't there yet, but it was just, they were very respected and likable guys in the comedy business. And it's crazy when somebody dies and we say with shows on the books, like Spanky, his website, he had shows coming up in the next couple weeks and he just passes away. It's mind boggling. I mean, Charlie Murphy died. I mean, he worked all the way up to the minute he died because he still had dates on the books. But what I do want to say about stand-ups and passing away is it's an easy business to get out of shape and to eat the wrong foods and everything. And the older I get and the more I'm on the road, now I see how important it is because, it's wear and tear on the body on them planes, man. And you got to stretch and you got to Biggest thing I've done is eliminate sugar and dairy from my diet. Ever since I did that, I just feel better. Oh, man. But I did find something I do have a sweet tooth, and it's hard for me to curb that. But I found these cookies, and this isn't an advertisement. They ain't paying me to say this, but they're Quest, Quest, Quest chocolate chip cookies. 1 gram of sugar. You could get them at Target. I found them at Target. And I follow, and I'm friends with Bo Casper Smart, who a lot of people say is J-Lo's ex young boy toy, but Casper's a cool dude, man. He's a good guy. I follow him on social media, and I saw him eating one time, and Casper's in great shape. So I sent him a message going, yo, are those any good? He's like, they're the best. And so I looked them up, and I said, oh, they sell them at Target. I go to Target, I buy a box. I'm hooked on them now. Quest chocolate chip cookies. They taste like soft batch. I don't know if you guys remember the soft batch cookies. Man, those things are tasty as shit. I got the chocolate and I got the peanut butter. They were okay, but that chocolate chip Quest, if you're looking to fill your sweet tooth, if you like cookies, get the Quest chocolate chip cookies. And they're not paying me to say this. I'm just doing it out of my own goodwill. Because you want to know who was a cookie monster? Was Michael Ealy. Michael Ealy, the beyond good-looking dude from Think Like a Man, Think Like a Man 2 that I worked with. That dude could eat some goddamn cookies. Every time I saw him, like, because, you eat together as a cast at craft services when you're shooting. Every time we'd be at the craft service, Mike would get up and go over to the little cookie tray and just swipe 2 chocolate chip cookies. And one day I just called him on. I said, Mike, how many chocolate chip cookies do you think you ate since we started filming? He was like, dude, I can't help it, man. I can't help it. In fact, I bought all the cast members, all the guys, I bought them all parting gifts, like gag gifts when we got done rapping Think Like a Man 2. And I literally went to a grocery store and bought every chocolate chip cookie they had. And I put them in Mike's dressing room. He literally had like 18 different bags. I got Jerry Ferrera, the Rocky, there's DVDs. I got them Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4. A 4-pack of Rockies, because we all said Jerry's like that. Romney, I got him like these coffee enemas. Somebody told me about them. Kevin, I got a big wheel. Terrence J, I got him the perfect push-up because he had his shirt off in both movies. So those are my gag gifts. All right, let's get into the NBA playoffs. I think one thing that's obvious, LeBron's the best player and the Warriors are the best team. And I think how it's going to play out, I think just like the NCAA tournament, we had all these upsets going on and watch out for this team, watch it. And then when it was all said and done, Villanova pretty much was the best team all year. I think the same thing's going on in the playoffs. Utah beats Oklahoma City and New Orleans beats Portland, and we kind of drank the Kool-Aid. And then they run into Houston and Golden State. And you say, oh, okay. And even in the East, you got these upsets. You got Boston, looks like it's going to upset Cleveland and everything else. I go, dude, if it's Golden State and Boston in the NBA Finals, I might go to Vegas and put $1,000 on Boston. Just say, fuck it. Ain't nobody picking Boston or Cleveland. The only team that would get favored, and not favored, but people would think have a chance would be Cleveland versus Houston. The people would think LeBron his star power would outdo James and Chris Paul's star power. God, Cleveland just got they just got a bad team. You think about Cleveland without LeBron. I mean, it is it's Orlando Magic. That's who it is. I'm like, so it's clear he's the best player, but I don't think he'd be upset if they didn't make the finals. I think he'd rather go out in the Eastern Conference Finals and then next year it seems the obvious choice is Houston if he wants to win now, because LeBron, he's getting up there in age. He's probably got about 2 years left where he's dominating, and he's going to fall back or just retire. I don't know. But if he wants to win now with a team that's stacked for him to flourish, is Houston. It's not Philly. It's not the Lakers. But it's so funny watching Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, because he drinks the Kool-Aid game to game. Because he went, Golden State is clearly the best team. Nobody's going to mess with them. Then Houston beats Golden State in game 2. He goes, hey, if they let Houston play like they played in game 2 and rough up Steph Curry, watch out. They might beat them. I'm like this, dude, whoever Stephen A. picks, go with that's why If Boston plays Golden State in the NBA Finals, Stephen A. Smith picks Golden State. That's the only reason I give Boston a chance. But what was the other big news? Oh, Phoenix Suns won the NBA draft lottery. Why doesn't Phoenix have a better team? I don't get it, man. It's a great city, especially in your early 20s, young 20s, if you're single and got some money in your pocket. Who wouldn't want to go to Phoenix? Scottsdale. So you tell me you want to go to Portland or Milwaukee? Really? I guess they have their runs with Steve Nash and Barkley, but it's been about 10 years since they've been any kind of relevant at all. Talking about not being relevant, Des Bryant, he turns out a multi-year offer from the Ravens, and now nobody can sign him. And he's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with this. I'm like, really? Are you? Because his productivity's dropped tremendously. And, I think we're past that stage of giving wide receivers all that money. And when you realize you're really not as good as your quarterback, man. I mean, Brady, Breeze, you see they win with multiple, all different kind of wide receivers. And if you want a wide receiver, you want one like Julio Jones or AJ Green that's just going to play and then roll out. The arguing, the diva, and the give me the ball, ain't nobody got time for that. The only team that should take Des Bryant is someone with a Super Bowl winning quarterback, because he's not going to listen. He's not, he's even though Joe Flacco's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, I think the Ravens like, okay, we'll give it a shot, but I think they're probably breathing a little sigh of relief right now. Like, whoo, we dodged that one. I think the only two teams he can go to is Green Bay and New Orleans at this point. Everybody thought he was going to go to the Giants, but clearly they wavered. They're like, unless it's one of those last minute signings like Terrell Owen signed at the last minute with the Bengals 8-9 years ago. Let me tell you something. When Terrell Owen signed with the Bengals, that was the most excited I've been since Ken Griffey signed with the Reds. I was like, no way. We just never had a superstar that was a superstar his whole career come to Cincy like that. I mean, we've had him homegrown. We built him ourselves, but ever since Boomer left, we ain't really had nobody. Like Chad was his own entity. He came up in Cincinnati, but it's rare we had a free agent want to come here and play. Talk about a fucking fiasco. Best part about T.O. coming here is we dropped in the draft and got A.J. Green. Now, outside of Des Bryant, the Cleveland Browns signed on for Hard Knocks. And my thing is, a lot of people are like, I go, what the fuck they got to lose? You 0-16. You ain't been in the playoffs in 15 years. Haven't had a winning season in 15 years. You were never on Hard Knocks before. Why not? So when people are like, no, they just got to concentrate. No, fuck that. They should be on there. Get to know these dudes, because you don't know. Only people you know is Baker Mayfield on the Browns at this point. And that's why I think it's good for the Browns to get on Hard Knocks, because it's going to humanize Josh Gordon. I don't know him, but everybody that I know that knows him was like, he's a good dude. He just has an addiction problem. And I'm like, he's been so open about it, not lying, talking about all his demons, what he did wrong in college and in the pros. And he's like, now I'm ready. I got my head together. I'm ready to play. So if Hard Knocks is able to humanize Josh Gordon and he balls out, I mean, endorsements, everything. And if they start winning, and honestly, I don't know half their players. I don't know. I know they got Carlos Hyde for the 49ers, who the 5-6 times I run to Carlos Hyde, he barely talked. So I see if he comes out. But I'm going to ask a question to the people listening on this one. I've talked about my brother extensively on the show. I had one pass away of a heroin overdose, and I had the other one got busted. And I read a comment, and I said it a couple weeks back. A guy was saying, you talk about your brother a lot. Sounds like you are really trying to play the victim when really it's your fault that everything's happened to you. And my brother just got sentenced last week, and he got a year in prison. And keep in mind, I've never said my brother's name on the air, and we don't have the same last name. So you can't tie us together. But my question is, I kind of want to write him a letter, because I know he'll get it and I know he'll read it if he's in prison. And I have his address. I got what prison he's at. I got his number, his prison number. So I can write him. But one side of me says, write him a letter and just say you forgive him for everything. But it's such a hard thing to do when you know someone's going to read the letter and be like, what do you mean? What do you forgive me for what? That's so hard to do when you know that's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. But it's interesting that my brother got locked up and I'm blocked from my mom's Facebook. She's only got Facebook. That's her own social media. But I'm blocked from all of it. But I can still work around it and get somebody that knows her that isn't blocked, and I can go to her page. So once every 2-3 months, I'll just go to her page and glance at it, just almost like to see how she's doing. And the day my brother got sentenced, my mom put a quote up that said, just because a person makes one bad decision doesn't make them a bad person. And I went, it's funny how it's okay for my brother to do that, but I didn't do anything bad and I'm banned. But I'm like, so again, and to the guy that made the comment, and I told you, YouTube comments I read, the one that said that, I was like, I got a feeling you know my brother, or in some way it's a family member that wrote that. I got a feeling, because sometimes I'll post stuff and like last year I gave this kid a scholarship. I paid all 4 years for him to go to school. He's at Capital University in Columbus, Ohio. And somebody put a thumbs down on the video. I posted a video of me giving the kid the scholarship. And I was just thinking, who would put a thumbs down? Because you get the thumbs up and thumbs down on YouTube. Who would give somebody giving a kid that didn't have a break in life a full ride 4-year scholarship, tax-free? You ain't got to worry about nothing. You finish your 4 years of school. You're not going to have school loans to pay off. You're starting even, hopefully with a job and a degree. And you give that thumbs down. And I'm just thinking, all my posts on YouTube or anywhere, there's always 1 or 2 thumbs down. And I'm always thinking, it's just funny to me because I'm like, who would give a thumbs down to that? So my question is, and like I said, I read your guys' comments, is should I write him a letter? Should I? Because I got a feeling, well, one thing, he will read it. And 2, I'm not gonna tackle him. I'm not gonna go at him like that. I wouldn't do that. But I would just tell him, it's like what I told my brother before he passed away, the other one. I said, you don't want another dad. You just want your dad to do better. And that's how I felt growing up when my dad wouldn't come around as much. I would always be like, damn, I don't want another dad. I just want my dad to do better. So when I would see like a guy tossing baseball with his dad, or guys going to their son's football games and stuff, and I look in the stands and say, I wish my dad was here. I never wanted their dad. I just wish my dad was there. And I remember my junior year of high school, there was a guy named Peter Ellis. He was a black. We only had 3 or 4 black kids on the football team, but Peter Ellis was a black kid. And he always looked up in the stands and he gave like a thumbs up to his mom and dad. They were at every game, home or away. They were always there. And I asked him one time, I said, hey, Pete, who you be giving a thumbs up to? And he was like, my mom. And then the next game I saw him give thumbs up to his mom, and his dad waved. And it was always right before kickoff. So I asked him, I said, yo, can I wave to your mom and dad? And he went, what? I said, can I wave to your mom and dad? And he looked at me like, I don't care. So the next game, Pete like looks up in the stands and gives his mom a thumbs up. His dad, here I am right next to him waving. And his mom gave me a wave like, who the fuck are you? Like, it was like it was like a wave like you're just seeing your parents after the first day of school. So I just never forget, I asked Pete, hey, you think I have to wave at your mom and dad? That was the coolest brother in my high school, man. He was a year older than me. To go to a rural, all-white high school like he did, everybody liked Pete. The rednecks liked Pete. Everybody he was just smooth, man. He was a smooth brother. I heard he's a lawyer now, like a real successful lawyer too. And I got to look him up, man. I'm going to try to find him, Peter Ellis. And I heard the rumor was when he went to Michigan, Desmond Howard was there. And I don't know why when you live in a small town, that's a big deal. But it's like, yeah, Pete cut Desmond hair. I go, huh? The rumor was, yeah, Peter Ellis, he cuts Desmond Howard's hair, because Desmond always had like cool haircuts in the early 90s when he was at Michigan. And the rumor was Peter was the one cutting his hair like in the dorm rooms. I guess they were staying in the same dorms up in Michigan. And Pete's one of those guys, like I thought, and this is no lie, when I was in high school, I said, Peter Ellis is either going to be a preacher or a lawyer. And sure enough, he's the goddamn lawyer. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a Feinberg and Ellis law firm out there. Yeah, I got to see if I can find him. He's the type that probably wouldn't even be on social media. Like, he doesn't need it. He's like that smooth. I wish I was that cool that I wasn't worried about logging onto my phone or my laptop to see what people thought about me that day. That's how I picture Pete. Like, he probably ain't got shit. Probably got a flip phone because he don't need all the technology. I got a secretary to handle this shit. You know who else still has a flip phone? Was Alonzo Mourning. If you ever see Alonzo Mourning at a Heat game or on the sidelines, he's on the phone. Look at the phone. It's a flip phone. And every time I see him, I'm like, Zoe, hold on. You're now damn near part owner of the Heat. You have a high school named after you. Not to mention, you're a Hall of Fame basketball player that did well with his money. Get a fucking phone, bro. Like, before there's iPhones and everything, I don't think people realize how easy our life is now. I remember shooting Little Man up in Vancouver, and I had to get a burner phone up in Canada. And for one, I didn't have a laptop back then. We shot this in 2005. So I didn't have a laptop. I was a little behind there. I had to get on the business center to get online in the hotel. And then the burner phone didn't have any computers or apps. The only thing I could do was play blackjack. Because I remember it rained every day. It rained for 31 straight days when we shot Little Man. And I had a lot of days off. I remember my off days, there was nothing to watch on TV. I started watching Degrassi Junior High. Drake was in a wheelchair. And I remember watching The Ultimate Fighter. It was the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. And the thing about Canadian Sports Center, different than the United States, hockey's always the lead story. And they have a lot of boxing programs. Every day there was a 30-minute boxing show on ESPN. And it was just dedicated to boxing. I was like, so I got into that. But man, those are some lonely days in my hotel room. Thank God for Tracy Morgan. Because when it rained and we couldn't shoot outside, Tracy was one floor above me and he would just call me up, G, come up, let's hang out. And the bad part was there was a movie theater right across the street from the hotel and there was just no good movies out. None. There was I think I saw 2 good movies the whole time I was there. It was right across the street from the hotel. 9% of the people, when they shoot a movie in Vancouver, they stay at a place called the Sutton Place because it has a hotel and it has apartments. And so we were at the Sutton Place and I was just like, it's crazy because you'll be in a lobby and you'll see like all these different actors and actresses from different shows. I remember always seeing the cast from Supernatural, and they were shooting one of the X-Men movies at that time. So it wouldn't be nothing to see half the cast of the X-Men in the lobby getting ready to go to work. I was always looking for Halle Berry, but I never saw her. I'm sure she wasn't staying at the Sutton Place. Yeah, but that was cool because every day you come down, you just don't know who you're going to see in the lobby because you're all going to different sets because usually just vans or SUVs are picking people up. And then one night, me and Tracy Morgan did a show. It was a Tuesday night, and we was like, let's just do a show. They had a comedy club called Yuck Yucks. It was right down the street from the hotel. So I went in there. I said, me and Tracy want to do a show. They said, fine. So we did 2 shows. We sold out both shows. So the club only holds about 250, 300 people. But I remember we made some extra money while we were there. And everybody came out. The whole cast of Little Man came out. And all these other actors and actresses that was on these other shows came out to the show. And I was like, man, this is the most stars I've had at a comedy show. And it's not even in LA. This shit is in Vancouver. But hey, here's what I remember the most about shooting Little Man. I had a development deal at Fox. So the whole time I'm in Vancouver, I'm on the phone with these writers trying to get my show together. And I ended up walking away from the show because they had every joke was racial. It was like black, white, black, white. I said, dude, that's an episode. That's not a show. So I walked away from it. But the whole time I'm talking to Tracy about my show and I'm trying to come up with ideas and everything, characters and story ideas, and he's helping me. And then right when we're wrapping, and we wrapped in February of 2006, we wrapped filming. We started in October. We filmed October all the way up to Thanksgiving. Then we came back for a few weeks in December, and then we was off till after the holidays. That's why it took so long to shoot the movie. But as soon as we wrapped, Tracy goes, yo, G, I just got a call from Tina Fey. He was like, yeah, I'm going to shoot this pilot for her. It was 30 Rock. So the whole time, I had the development deal. I'm trying to put this show together for Fox, and Tracy's really, he would just help me out. Like, you think this is good? You think this idea? You think this is a good character? Yo, G. And then we'd act it out in his room, act out the scenes. And then right when we wrapped February, he got the pilot. He said, yo, Tina Fey called because they had the SNL connection. He goes, we got this new pilot, man, called 30 Rock. And the rest is history. But I just remember thinking, he went that whole 3 months that we were together, not the whole time, but the whole time we shot the movie, never talked about a TV deal, never talked about getting on a TV show, and he gets a fucking phone call, man. That's how this business works, man. Like, he was literally, Tina knew him, and if you watch 30 Rock, that was Tracy. There's nobody else that can play that character, and he was playing Tracy Morgan. He wasn't playing somebody else. He was playing Tracy Morgan on 30 Rock. That's not a character. That's him. In this business, we can get frustrated, but I wouldn't trade it for the world because you can get a phone call tomorrow. You know, I just got an email yesterday saying I got booked on Ridiculousness. I'm filming it in June. Yeah, never, and that's just one episode of whatever, but I want to do it to do it. I was just like, yeah, hell yeah, come in and do it. So that's what I say. I love this business. I love it because you never know what tomorrow holds. And you never know when your name's coming up in meetings. And a lot of times I don't know my name because of meetings, and at the last minute, they went with somebody else, or sometimes I got something that somebody else thought they had. That's just how it works. So, all right, Joe. So listen, to just to recap the episode, listen to the family and friends of Siddiqui Fuller and Spanky Horton, man. We lost two good guys in the comedy business. Good people. Quest chocolate chip cookies. Go to Target. Pick them up. You'll thank me later. And then should I or should I not write my brother one letter while he's in prison? I think I'm leaning towards it. It's hard when you write somebody and going to say, I forgive you for everything. And just basically for myself. But you know, when they read it, I don't know though. I got to be careful how I word things because my family on that side have a way of twisting things and turning things around. So I'm gonna read your comments when this posts, and you guys tell me. I read all the YouTube comments. If you want to leave it on iTunes also, but you tell me what I should do, or maybe somebody that's listening has iTunes. Just search Gary Owen #GetSome, or search United We Cast. You can also listen and watch on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/GaryOwenCom, and we provide visuals. And just to give everybody a heads up, I listen, and I always say I read the comments on YouTube. I really do. And a lot of people say, you got to start doing video. And I understand that. So I am going to start doing videos in the very near future. Within the next month, we're going to have videos of my podcast. But I had to build an audience first. I had never did a podcast, so I wasn't sure how all this worked. So now that I see, like, we built an audience, and I thank you guys for listening, and girls, because I know I watch a lot of podcasts because I'm in my hotel room a lot of times, and I'll just be on YouTube searching, and I'll find podcasts, and that's the whole reason there's FaceTime now. I mean, like, talking on the phone wasn't good enough, so now people want to see who they talking to, and I don't think there's anything more aggravating than being in an airport and somebody FaceTiming somebody, because there's no such thing as a whisper. I never got that. Like, why are you FaceTiming in a busy... If it's your kids and you're saying good night or good morning or how was flight, get it. We're just talking to your homeboy or friend. You're so loud. And I'm letting you know, I'm listening to your whole conversation. I'm trying to see what the other person's saying because I'm nosy like that. I'm not going to comment on it or say anything new, but trust I'm listening. I got a lot to talk about this week, but before I do, I want to get into my stand-up dates coming up. June 7th to the 10th, I'm at Tommy T's in Pleasanton, California. That's the Bay Area. Then June 15th to the 17th, I'm in Denver, Colorado at the Denver Improv. And then June 21st, I'm in Killeen, Texas at the Killeen Activity Center. And then June 24th and 25th, I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas at the Looney Bin. And then July 7th, I'm in Alexandria, Louisiana at the Riverfront Center. So I haven't been to Louisiana in a while because I always get people hit me up like, when you come to New Orleans and that. This ain't New Orleans, but it's close. It's Alexandria, Louisiana. So if you want to come see me in Louisiana or around there, that's where I'll be July 7th. That's a Saturday. And it's Mardi Gras weekend, so I'm actually looking forward to it. It looks like a pretty big venue, and I've never been to Alexandria, Louisiana. And if any of you have, let me know where to eat on the YouTube page. I'll read the comments. I did not my first podcast, but last week I did BJ Armstrong's podcast, and it just let me know I got to step my podcast game up. I'm doing this off my computer at my house or in my hotel room. You have to come into work for that podcast. They had visual, they had cameras, they had graphics. So it was interesting to me, though, because I thought I was going to go on and we were going to talk a lot of basketball as far as like BJ's basketball. But then him and his co-host just kept asking me questions and they kept bringing it back to stand-up. We talked sports, obviously, but a lot of it was about my stand-up. And it's something that I forget that this is like it's an interesting world to a lot of people because to me, it's all I know is being a stand-up and I don't find it that interesting myself. But to an outsider looking in, I guess it really is an interesting lifestyle, an interesting line of work you choose to do. Because I had a show one time and the guy that was opening up for me said, stand-ups, we really live like lives of assassins. You know, because when you ever watch assassins in the movies, they come into a city unannounced and they're by themselves the whole time. And then they do the killing and then they leave. Well, it's similar to that because a lot of times comedians, we come into a city, we're by ourselves all day. The first time we have any human interaction with people is when we hit that stage or when we get to the comedy club or the theater. And then when the show's over, we leave. So I was like, I never thought of it like that, but it very much is like an assassin's lifestyle. But we're assassinating people with jokes and laughs. And then if you ain't funny, then you're the one that gets assassinated because you get booed. So it goes both ways. But yeah, I didn't really talk to BJ at all about like his basketball career. And I was a little fascinated by it. I mean, think about it. He played with Pippen and Jordan, and he was in 3 of the greatest NBA finals. That Lakers finals against the Bulls, that was the one that set Jordan's whole dynasty off. Basically, he did that sweet layup, the reverse layup. And, you know, I think everybody was up in the air, like, because at that point it was Pistons, Lakers, and Celtics was it. And then pretty much it ended that reign for the Lakers for a long time, ended the Celtics reign for a long time. You know, the Pistons had somewhat of a resurgence, but, you know, Jordan was what took them all out with that series. And BJ was a part of it. So I'm going to get him on my podcast one day when I start having guests, because I listen to you guys. You guys say, Gary, you got to start having guests also. I will, but I do like the fact that I don't have to rely on anybody and I can just talk about whatever I want to talk about by myself. It's similar to when I do stand-up. You see some stand-up comics that you do a lot of music bits. And I always think that's cheating. And I did music bits in the past. I first to admit it. I think sometimes when you first start out. But once you get to a point where you've been doing stand-up, I think 5-6 years, at that point, you want to stand on your own 2 feet and just tell jokes. You shouldn't be relying on music bits. Because to me, it's not cheating, but it is cheating, kind of, because the crowd's kind of laughing at the music or the song and you're at a concert. So to me, I'm like, if you look at any of the great stand-ups, the greats, nobody does music bits on HBO specials or Netflix specials or Showtime specials or Raw or Delirious or any of the Kevin Hart movies. Nobody's doing music bits. It's all your jokes. And that's what people want to know. And that's what reverberates on the television and movie screen is just the words coming out of your mouth. Because music bits never hit like you think they do when you see it on TV. They never do. I've seen a few comics do music bits and it always falls flat when you're watching it on TV. Live's different. Because like I said, you're putting on a song and people are really kind of jamming to the song. So that's what I always say about comedians, man. I understand that you're in the beginning and you're trying to find your voice and legs and stuff. But after a while, man, it should just be you and the microphone and the audience. And to me, that is just the purest form of entertainment. It's so raw. You're exposing yourself. And that's what I love about it. But when you start doing music bits, you also take the show out of your own hand because you're relying on that DJ to hit that music cue at the right time. And I've literally seen comics get mad at the DJ because he didn't hit it at the right time when he said he was going to hit it. Somehow, some comics got like 7-8 music bits in 30 minutes. I'm like, good Lord. I don't know if I should say thanks to you or the DJ. I don't know who was fired. So I think with me not having guests on my podcast, it's similar to that. I'm not worried about anybody else. All I can do is get on here, do the topics I want to talk about, and that's it. But I do want to start having guests. But like I said, I had to build the audience first, and I had to get comfortable myself doing a podcast. I haven't done one before. So enough said. I'm going to talk about the Cavs, Warriors, J.R. Smith, Roseanne Barr, Tracy Morgan. But I told you guys last week, and I don't want to forget. I watched that Netflix show, Evil Genius. And I watched the first 2 episodes, and I can't wait to watch the second 2 episodes. Well, I watched all 4. It actually ended kind of anticlimactic. The first 2 episodes were much more interesting than the second 2 to me. So it still was, you watch all 4 parts and you still don't really know what happened because everybody has died. Everybody has died. The guy obviously died that robbed the bank, that had the bomb collar, so we never got an answer out of him. The woman who was the evil genius who, we probably think she did it, was the mastermind. She's dead. And then her cohort, this guy that she supposedly did it with, now he passed away. It's like everybody's gone. It's all up for interpretation. And it reminds me of the OJ case. Like everybody kind of knows OJ did it. Everybody kind of knows Bill Cosby did it, but Bill Cosby never admitted it and OJ never admitted it. And everyone that's involved with this evil genius case, nobody really admitted it. So it is if you got a couple hours, 3, 4 to kill some time, it's worth a watch. Really is. I know everybody's waiting for me to talk about the Cavs and Warriors. By the time this podcast airs, game 2 will already be played. But game 1, what sucks about it was I was on stage. I was in Dallas at the Improv in Addison. And when I got off stage, the Cavs were up by 2 with like 45 seconds left. And I was like, no way. It was 104, 102 when I got off stage. And then I had to sell some t-shirts and do my meet and greet. When I got done with my meet and greet, it went into overtime. It was 107. So I go back in the green room, the game's on, and they were at commercial break. The overtime hadn't even started yet. And then I saw the overtime. So I didn't know, as I'm watching the overtime, everything that led to it. I didn't know J.R. Smith thought the game they were winning and he tried to run the clock out. I didn't know George Hill missed a free throw that would have put the Cavs up by 1. I didn't know there was a controversial charging call that got overturned into a blocking call. LeBron. I knew none of that. I'm just watching overtime. And the way Cavs played in overtime lets me know, they're a little flat. They look deflated. We're going to see what that means. I think outside of J.R. Smith fiasco and watching all the highlights from the game, I don't think I've ever seen LeBron James play better in his whole career. And that's saying a lot. 15 years in, and he doesn't like he's slowing down. I'm like, this dude here, man. Classic case of he's got money, he's got power and everything, but he's still putting in the work. The passion's still there, man. I'm like, good Lord. Not 51, Russell Westbrook 51, where it took 51 shots. He was 19 for 31. He only missed 12 shots, and I saw him miss 2 in overtime, and one of them was a 3, just almost desperation trying to get back in the game. There's, to me, all this who's the best player right now has completely been put to rest. It ain't KD. It ain't James Harden. When James Harden, who's probably going to win the MVP next week when it gets announced, everyone's going to be looking at him with a side eye because they're going to be like, really? We all know who the best player in the NBA is, and this playoff run has solidified it. You put Kevin Durant on this Cleveland Cavaliers team, they lose in the first round of the playoffs. You put Steph Curry on this Cavaliers team, same thing. James Harden, I don't know if they make the playoffs with James Harden. And LeBron's got him in the NBA Finals. And here's the thing. I was watching Fox Sports, and Nick Wright put it all perfectly. He said he's on a show with Chris Carter on Fox Sports 1, and he said, if LeBron, before it goes into overtime, if he demands the ball and takes a selfish shot, and people are going to say it's selfish if he takes the last shot, then if he misses it, then we'll be like, LeBron, blah, blah, blah. They said, but the fact that he made the right basketball decision, the smart one, the one that statistics say you should do, he gives the ball to George Hill. George Hill gets fouled. How does he get rewarded? By doing the right basketball play. How he gets rewarded is George Hill misses a free throw, which happens. And his teammate, J.R. Smith, doesn't know what's going on in the game. That means he mentally is not there. If you don't know the score, at that point, I don't know where your mind is. Your mind is, and I like JR. That's what sucks, man. It sucks because I like him a lot. He comes to my shows and we laugh and I text him and stuff. But your mind has to be on JR at that point and not the Cavs and Warriors. Because I think when he got that rebound and he started to dribble the ball the wrong way, he looked up at the clock and I think everything hit him at one point. Like, I'm gonna be the hero. I got the rebound. I'm around the clock. We're up 1-0. Oh shit, why is everybody looking at me? And then to make it worse was, talking about LeBron, that's how he got rewarded, was George Hill missing a free throw and J.R. Smith not knowing what the play is. So you wonder, if I'm LeBron, I'm like, nah, I'm shooting it every time. Money shots are coming to me. I've never seen an unstoppable force like LeBron in my career. When people ask LeBron or Jordan, now I'm to the point where I always said Michael Jordan, no doubt. He was number one, and I always said LeBron was two. Now I'm like, I think LeBron's one, but I want Jordan taking the last shot, is where I'm at. If you're asking me for a jump shot, I want Jordan. That was hard to watch, man, watching the highlights, because I knew nothing when I was watching the overtime game. I knew nothing of JR making that play. I don't think it's as bad as the Chris Webber timeout, because the Chris Webber calling timeout, that's basically game 7 that happened. And that didn't lose them the game. They were tied. Can you imagine if they were down by 1 and he thought they were winning? Then I felt bad for LeBron because he had to answer questions. His whole press conference was about J.R. Smith. And it totally took away from one of the greatest playoff games in the history of NBA basketball in a losing effort. LeBron was like Danny Almonte from the Little League World Series about 15 years ago when he was like 16 playing with a bunch of 12-year-olds, and then he got his birth certificate, that Danny Almonte, the pitcher. That's what it reminded me of. I go, remember they couldn't hit that kid? LeBron's the same way. Like, dude, why can't they stop him? You can see when he gets the ball and the way he bullies people and he backs them down, like, I've never seen nothing like it. Then he just comes out and shoots a 3. And let me tell the casual fans something. When you go to the YMCA, that's not an NBA three-point line. The NBA three-point line is so deep, it doesn't seem like a lot when they say like 6, 12 inches. It's crazy. When I see NBA three-point line and I start shooting, like a college three-pointer, you're like, okay, I could probably hit 5 of 10 with nobody guarding me. The NBA, I'll be happy when I hit 2 of 10. This thing's hard. I may see how this is going to turn out. It can go either way. It can galvanize the Cavaliers in a way that it's all on LeBron how they're going to respond. If they somehow pull out game 4, game 5, then we look back on this. If somehow the Cavaliers win this series, that's the only way JR is going to be able to laugh at this. I've seen more people on my timeline that hate LeBron that finally was like, okay, I got to give him his props. I have to. There's a guy I work out with in Cincinnati, the guy that trains me. He hates the Cavs. He hates LeBron. He's always bagging on him. Even he got on his Instagram, was like, I can't stand LeBron, but I got to give props when it's due. I hate it when people say, you earned my respect. LeBron don't give a shit about your respect. Let me tell you that. So, or people say things like this, like, yeah, LeBron James went to my high school. No, you went to LeBron James high school, player. Let's get that straight right now. Man, I'm rooting for the Cavs. I thought when I got off stage, I had so much excitement. I go, no way, they're up by 2. And then when I see LeBron at 51, I was like, good Lord. I want people to just think about how good LeBron is right now. Just this is the best way I can put it in to layman's terms so everybody gets what I'm talking about. You got me, average Joe. I go to the Y, I'm average. Then you got guys that can come to the Y and dominate me. Then you got guys that in high school was good ball players that can come to the Y and dominate those guys. Then you got guys that got D1 scholarships and went to Ball State that can dominate those guys. Then you got guys that are Kentucky and Duke that can dominate the Ball State guys. Then you got guys that go to Kentucky and Duke, make it to the NBA, and are average NBA players that can dominate average Kentucky Duke players that didn't go to the NBA. Then you got the James Harden, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Chris Paul type that can dominate 9% of the NBA. Then you got LeBron that can dominate them. Like, the guy is the top of the food chain when it comes to basketball. And then we're going to criticize him and tell him what he should and shouldn't do? Man, shut up. I've always said, when you're an iconic figure like a LeBron or Jordan, wear some bullshit sometimes and just watch how many people start wearing it. Just because it's like you. Just wait till this summer when you see all these brothers at nightclubs in these suit shorts looking like dumbasses. Watch this summer in the Hamptons at a Diddy party. Oh my God. If I was like a LeBron or Jordan, I would just wear bullshit to see how many people did it. All right. So we got enough about the Cavs and Warriors. I could talk for an hour about it. Don't want to overkill it. All right. In other news, I mean, obviously we had the Roseanne Barr thing. I'm going to get in that in a second. But on a lesser known, just the other day, Tracy Morgan was doing an interview with vulture.com. And he sits down and immediately one of the interviewers start talking about Tiffany Haddish. And they was like, so what's it like seeing her rise and everything? And Tracy cut the guy off and goes, we're not going to go there. We're not talking about that. You know, this is the last OG. It's the Tracy Morgan show. If you go ask about Tiffany, ask about Cedric. Ask about craft services. Ask about the other people that are hard at work on my show. When I first saw it, it came across like Tracy was jealous and, you know, a little envious of Tiffany's rise, so to speak. When I watched the whole interview, I still feel like there's a little jealousy in Tracy Morgan, but he softened it because I think what he was saying was, he said it. He goes, on my show, there's no stars. It's everyone's the same. And we say good morning. We say thank you. He goes, I know every craft service person, every cleaning person, every grip's name on my show. It's a family. It's only we're going to succeed as a family. I think Tracy's just so blunt that what he wanted to say was, you know, hey, we're going to talk about everybody. And it probably was one of those things where LeBron had to answer for J.R. Smith last night, where Tracy's like, yo, can we talk about me and then get into Tiffany? But my thing is this, and this is what I would tell Tracy. I know it's your show, but you know how many times I go to schools and talk and do radio interviews and I get asked about Kevin Hart half the interview? And my thing is, I don't ever get mad. I get it. And what I've always said was when I do Think Like a Man and Think Like a Man 2 or Ride Along, 3 movies I did with Kevin Hart, I'm always like, you know, I'm okay with answering questions about Kev and talking about him because, you know, when I go on the road, people don't see Kevin Hart and Romany Malco and Terrence J and Michael Ealy and Taraji Henson and Gabrielle Union. They're not coming to cities with me, but I'm associated with them. So when people see me, they see them. That's just crazy. They like when they see me coming, they're like, oh, Gary Owen, Kevin Hart, Gary Owen, Gabrielle Union, Gary Owen, Ice Cube. They see that. And people like to be associated with people that know certain people. And it's crazy because you're in people's psyche like that. But that's what I told my agent and manager and everything. I said, I don't get mad about stuff like that. I embrace it because I'm like, yo, we're all generating the same traffic to what we want to generate it to. We're generating people to go download Ride Along, download Think Like a Man, download Think Like a Man 2, which creates new fans for me, which means I sell more tickets on the road, which generates more income. So I never go the route Tracy did, but I think Tracy's probably a little fed up getting asked about Tiffany the whole time when the show was it's his show. It's the last OG. But I wouldn't have gone the route Tracy did, and I love Tracy to death, man. And it's nothing I wouldn't say to his face. But I just think, you know, I get where his frustration probably came in and it boiled over because that was probably the 20th interview he did where he got asked about Tiffany Haddish. But I guess I'm just wired different. I would just be rolling with it. Even if I didn't like Tiffany, I'd be like, she's great on set. Because you want people to think that the show's happy and then they turn in and people like seeing happy people on TV, I think, when it comes to stuff like that. You got your reality shows where you look to see the drama. But the last OG, you want to think the cast is together and get along. And we'll see what Tracy says, but I will see what Tiffany says. But I did see where Lil Rel chimed in. And he was like, you know, this is bullshit. Tracy's always been a hater. Tiffany is the only reason that show is the success it is. You know, yeah. But you know, Lil Rel, he's riding for his girl. Kind of like I rode for Will Packer. him and Tiffany go way back and was on the Carmichael show, and they're about to get Uncle Drew coming out together. So I get with Lil Rel's, but that's one thing you'll probably won't see in next season. You're not going to see Lil Rel on The Last OG as a guest star after that tweet. But like I said, you know what it reminds me of is with The Last OG and his Tracy Morgan show, and Tracy's a star in his own right. And I love Tracy, man. He's so much fun to be around, and he's the same person every time you see him. Because I guess people say you got 18 personalities. Like you're not going to act at the White House in front of Barack Obama when Barack was in office as you would hanging out with Flavor Flav at a nightclub. Those personalities are going to be different. Not Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan going to be the same in front of Barack and the same in front of Flavor Flav at a strip club. They're going to be the same dude. I've seen it. Tracy don't change who he is for nobody. I do think there was a little jealousy, but I also think it was more of, hey, man, this is my show. I busted my ass to get this show on the air. Can we talk about me first? And then I'll bring up Tiffany if I want to. But I think it probably wasn't vulture.com's fault. It was probably just an accumulation of everywhere time Tracy gets interviewed, he has to talk about Tiffany. But I was saying what it reminds me of is Mike and Molly, that TV show with Billy Gardell and Melissa McCarthy. When the show came together, it was Billy Gardell's show. They hired Melissa McCarthy to be his wife. And then the next year, Bridesmaid comes out. And now Melissa McCarthy is a huge star. Very similar to Tiffany Haddish. Very similar. Where Billy Gardell was like, this is my show. But now Melissa McCarthy's a star. And what I had heard from a reliable source is when you go to sitcom tapings, and they always announce the cast before the taping starts. And you'll see the cast come out, and it's always the star of the show gets announced last. So like when the Fresh Prince was on the air, Will Smith was always last. When Seinfeld was on the air, Seinfeld was always the last one to come out. Well, with Mike and Molly, first couple seasons, Billy Gardell was the last one to get announced because it was his show. Mike's the first name on there. Molly was Melissa McCarthy. Well, the show, Melissa started rising. They almost felt like, damn, we gotta have Melissa come out last because that's who's really coming to see the show get taped now. Melissa's the driving force. So when they went to renegotiate, because here's how sitcoms work. When you first get a sitcom deal, it's not a 1-year deal. It's usually like a 5-year deal. In success, you get percentage raises. But you always renegotiate if the show's a big hit. So I think like season 3 or season 4, Mike and Molly, they went in to renegotiate everybody's contract. Now, obviously, Melissa was a huge star now. She was going to get a lot more money than what her original contract was. So she goes in, renegotiates before Billy Gardell. Billy Gardell goes in, and this is what he says. He goes, hey, whatever you gave Melissa, just give me the same. We're good. And he left the room. So it was beautiful because he was like, look, I ain't trying to get more. I know she's the bigger star, but it's still my show and it's my baby. So just give me the same and we'll call it a day. I was like, that was perfect. That was perfect. Because at this point, everybody's making so much money. I mean, granted, I always say there's never enough money. You always want to make more. But they're in a situation where they're like, damn, 4 years ago, I didn't see myself living like this. If you're on a sitcom that goes into syndication, and you're one of the leads of that sitcom, you're kind of set for the rest of your life if you manage your money right. I mean, granted, you have to work, but you shouldn't be struggling anymore to pay bills. And if you want to buy a car or something like that, you should be able to do that at that point. So Billy was probably like, look, man, I have been just stand-up for years, just a road comic. And now here I am on a hit show. And I'm on a hit show because Melissa McCarthy has helped this become a hit show just as much as I did. So I thought that was kind of cool how he said, whatever you gave her, just give me. And I also heard that Melissa started getting introduced last. And Billy was like, I don't give a shit. I'm making money. My show's on the air. I'm good. Let me tell you something. I can tell you from the honest to God, if I was ever on a TV show and it was my show, my baby, and all of a sudden I get a female lead that, whether it's my daughter or my wife, that just gets in a movie, all of a sudden she's clearly the bigger star in that realm. I have no problem giving her all the due, interviewing, talking about her all the time. Because I'm just like, dude, if she's on it and we're still on the air and people are viewing in to see her, that's more money. And when I go on the road, people associate me with her. I can care less. So when I do interviews and they ask Kevin Hart, I get it. I just talk about him. Yeah, he's great. It's cool, man. We had a good time. I've known Kev since 98. It's all love. Tell some few stories about us back in the day and keep it moving. Then we'll get back to me. Oh, yeah, but I'm also at the Addison Improv in Dallas this weekend. I don't mind that stuff, you know. But I think Tracy just had enough. Like, damn, man, can we talk about me and my show, The Last OG? But Tiffany's hot right now, man. That's gonna come with it. And be thankful she's on your show. I never worked with her on a sitcom, but from what I know of her, the numerous times I've been around her and been on the road with her, she's cool, man. Tiffany's cool. She wild, she ghetto, but she's cool. She's always been cool with everybody. She's the same person now that she was, 10 years ago. She's always been the same. Solid. So, last thing I'm going to talk about is Roseanne Barr. Talking about sitcoms. I'm sure you guys heard Roseanne Barr went on Twitter and compared a black woman to Planet of the Apes. Woman that I think Jared's her last name. I don't want to give out the wrong information, but this is the thing. It's pretty simple, white people, and I've said it before. When you're talking about black people, and especially on social media or on camera, especially, I mean, you shouldn't do it anyways, but it's pretty much don't say the N-word and don't compare black people to gorilla or apes. Everything else, kind of work around. But those two things, game changes. It's just not worth it. It's like risk versus reward. Do I want this quick laugh on social media to be the person like, see, I don't give a shit what I say. I don't care. Because then Roseanne says this, and who I feel bad for is the other cast members, especially the two little kids. Because she had like a black granddaughter on the show, and she had also had a grandson. And both those kids, it was like their big TV break. And they were already picked up for season 2. They had 15 million viewers. I mean, Roseanne was in line to make like $500,000 an episode season 2. It was that much of a hit. And now it's all gone. And I've always said when comedians say something on social media or on their stand-up act, if nobody is offended and nobody says anything, and they come out later and be like, I shouldn't have said that was wrong, that's a sincere apology. That really is. Now, if a stand-up says a joke on stage or says a tweet or Instagram that a lot of people find offensive, like Roseanne did, and they lose work because of it, and then they have a publicist and other people, and they come out with an apology after they've lost something because of it, they don't mean that apology. They don't. Roseanne's been talking reckless for a while. She's an avid Donald Trump supporter. We get that. Not all Donald Trump supporters are racist and bad people and are ignorant. Some people are just looking at it from economics, straight economics. I know a few people that voted for Donald Trump and support Donald Trump. And what they told me when I said, how can you support a dude like that? They go, dude, they said, I feel like this is somebody else talking to me. They said they feel like all politicians are dirty and shady and they all do dirty shit behind each other's backs. They said Donald's just doing it in our face. And these are black people that voted for Donald Trump. Said, I think a lot of politicians talk about black people bad and awful. They said, the bottom line is, he said he's going to bring jobs to my town. They said, that's all I heard. And they said, I could care less. I can turn the TV off. I ain't got to deal with Donald Trump on a day-to-day basis. If he brings jobs and the economy's better, I'm voting for him. These are black people that I know that voted for Donald Trump. In their mind, everybody talks like Donald Trump talks, but they do it behind black people's back and other people's back, where they're like, well, at least he's saying it to our face and not behind our back. I didn't agree or disagree. I just listened. I just kept it moving. I know 3 black people in my immediate somewhat circle that voted for Donald Trump. I'll never say who they are or anything, but it would be people that you didn't think voted for him. It is what. So Roseanne's an avid Donald Trump supporter, but she's one that I think a lot of these Donald Trump supporters are getting bold in what they're saying, and they don't feel like there's any repercussions because there ain't no repercussions when Trump says it. And I think it caught up with her, and especially when the head of ABC is a black woman. Good Lord, Roseanne. It's common sense, man. Listen, if any white people are listening to this podcast, you can pretty much, kidding or not kidding, you can push the envelope with a lot of things. What you can't do, can't say the N-word around black people and to their face or anything else. And what you can't do, you can't compare black people to gorillas or apes. There's just, that crosses the line. You could lose your job and you could also get your ass kicked because of it. It ain't worth it. I guess I'm around black people so much. I don't get how that people can be that out of touch with a certain segment of society that you have to come in contact with every day. Roseanne, she lives in LA. She's been in Hollywood for years. She's had numerous black guest stars on her show. I don't know how many black people were working behind the stage, but she's come in contact with too many black people in her life to not know you can't do that. It's amazing. It's amazing how common sense, there's lack of it. Or you feel like you're above everything that, oh, they can't do that to me. You know, it reminds me of when I see guys going to jail and they got the only God can judge me tattoo on their face or neck. I'm like, well, nah, that tattoo's false because you about to go to jail for a long time. So I guess, yeah, the judge can judge you. I say, man, every time I see that stuff or somebody says that shit, man, only God can judge me. Nah. Yeah, a lot of people do. And this ain't a black-white. I've seen white dudes with that tattoo. I've seen white dudes with the only God can judge me tattoo. You guys forget I'm from a trailer park. And trailer park rednecks today aren't the ones from 30 years ago where you think they're playing banjos and Deliverance. The redneck trailer park people today, pants are sagging, listening to hip-hop, white dudes calling other white dudes the M-words, tattoos everywhere. I'm like, so this, I'm not talking about black people when I say only God can judge me and you're going to jail. Trust, I ain't talking about that. So if I'm giving any advice to Tracy Morgan, I'm saying, if I'm his publicist and saying you got to spin this, you know, if anybody asks you, why did you get upset with Tiffany Haddish? I would just say, to do damage control, I would be like, this wasn't a knock on Tiffany. I love Tiffany. This is just, I feel like my other cast members aren't getting their due. And I wanted them to be recognized also. And maybe my tact was wrong. But I just want everybody's, he said it. If you watch the whole interview, he kind of said it. It started off all wrong with the, we ain't going to go there. Why don't you ask me about Cedric or craft services? You know, we're not going to go there. And it did. When I initially saw it, it came off very, very haterish and jealous. But when I saw the whole interview with Tracy, I go, okay, I think I know what he was trying to get at. And he's probably just sick of talking about Tiffany. He's like, yo, you got me on your show. Can we talk about me? I'm interesting too. I think that's what it was, especially when you work so hard to get a show on the air. And he probably had a hand in who was cast into the show. You know, you got to have some chemistry with your lead, your co-lead. And then Roseanne Barr, probably not going to talk about you again for a while. I mean, you're in your mid-60s, which means everything you said you meant, and your show's canceled. I just feel bad for those kids on the show and the other co-stars that had nothing to do with this. And then you also got cameramen and grips and producers and directors and writers. You know, you got people scrambling for jobs now. That's what sucks. If you get a chance, watch Evil Genius on Netflix. Also, listen to BJ Armstrong's podcast. Just search me. It's on the web. Look for it on iTunes. And the Cavs and Warriors, like I said, the only way J.R. Smith gets out of this is if the Cavs win the title. And I like JR. JR's a good dude, man. I like him. He's funny. And LeBron likes him a lot, too. That's why LeBron keeps having him around. I mean, LeBron has his guys. J.R. Smith